How you doing? It's Mick Tully for World Martial Arts TV, and I'm with the one and only Mr. Bobby Lashley. How you doing, sir?
Fantastic.
First of all, it's sort of a secret why you're actually in London. You're here with Bellator, but we don't know you're going to be on the card, right?
That's the plan. I mean, it was something that I just got a call back. I mean, I got a call literally last week. I got a flight Friday.
Right.
Yeah, and I was actually in Kansas. I had a couple fighters from my gym that were fighting this past weekend, and I was out there cornering those guys, getting those guys ready. And I went from the fight Saturday to jumping on a plane Sunday morning right after the fight, flying up here.
And now you're here.
Yeah, and the whole time when I'm flying up here, I was like, who am I fighting? Who am I fighting? Who am I fighting? They said, well, the plan was originally when they called me, they said, you have to fight a UK guy, and Ollie is probably one of the bigger ones.
Yes.
And they said, you and Ollie. Now, I got offered Ollie a long time ago, and I think a promotion fell through.
Right.
I think it was like Global Forces, something like that. I think he and I fought in the same card. And they said, yeah, let's have you and Ollie fight next. And I was like, beautiful. I like him. I like the guy.
Yeah.
I think it's a great fight.
That'd be a good matchup, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're similar in certain ways. So I think it would be a good fight, especially how tough he is. So I was like, yeah, let's do Ollie. And they said, well, if Ollie beats Congo, and they said, oh, we think it should be a good fight, and he should possibly be able to beat him. But Congo didn't let that happen. So since he lost that fight, now we have to find someone else.
Yeah, because I also thought maybe James Thompson. Yeah.
Again? I beat him twice.
Yeah,
Do I
but
need to beat him 3 times?
Yeah, but they can guarantee the money 3 times. You know, that's business, right?
Oh, there you go.
It's business, right?
I'll take Thompson again.
Yeah.
I saw him not too long ago, and Thompson's always a gamer. I like him.
He's a great guy, huh?
Oh, he is, and he gets the sport too. Like if he comes out here, it'll be the same stuff. We'll go right back to hating each other and want to kill each other again. And there's a lot of bad blood. There's bad blood in the fighting, but outside of fighting, there's not bad blood. And that's the beauty of fighting. I love that because we can hate each other in the ring. Because like I wanted to kill him in the ring. Yes. I hit him so hard last time. I think I broke my own hand trying to hit him.
Wow.
But at the same time, he swung at me, and I could just feel the wind come past my head. I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So there's no love lost in the ring. So I mean, if it's Thompson, it's Thompson. But
you're a big guy, and there's quite a famous big guy that's been signed as well from Bellator, Russian. Fedor Emelianenko. Would you like that?
I mean, that's what we've already talked about.
Really?
The time when he came in, I thought I was a man because I'd said some way back before about it. I was like, and my was it my last fight or the fight before my last? That's the first person I called out because he was there. I was like, hey, I want Fedor.
That'd be a great matchup.
And it's not. I respect every fighter, right? But it's not about that. It's about big name fights, and it's about the admiration of being able to fight him. I mean, he's amazing.
He's a living legend, right?
Yeah, and to put that stamp on my record, I mean, it's something that I need.
Yeah.
So for right now with Bellator, I'm 5-0 with those guys. So it's either a big name fight or a title.
Well, you see, this is the thing, you know, another famous wrestler that crossed over was Lesnar, and it was a meteoric rise. Right. And I remember a lot of guys saying to me at the time, like referencing you, and they were like, you know, Bobby Lashley's going to take it, he's huge, can he fight? And then look at some of the monsters that you went in with, you know? It was how did you find that going from, bear in mind, I'm a huge wrestling fan. I'm the biggest mark in the world for it, right?
Right, okay.
And it's fake.
Different conversation.
Yeah, but you know, it's fake, right? But those bumps are real.
Oh yeah. There's so much. When people say that, is it real or fake? I say, why don't you come to the show? I mean, I'm not a magician. I can't do anything in front of your face that you can't see. You can watch my matches, and my matches are my matches. Okay, when we land on the ground, we throw each other around, everything like that. It takes a toll on your body, right? A huge toll on your body. It's basically a fight out there. I mean, my next opponent is Josh Barnett. So we're not out there throwing clotheslines and doing everything. We're out there fighting. And that's what I like about it. For me, it's my training for my fights. I don't change my fight training and my professional wrestling training because it's the same.
Right.
I'm still working on my Muay Thai coach. I still do jiu-jitsu. I still do my strength training. So my strength and conditioning. So it's not like I say, oh, I need to be a bodybuilder for professional wrestling, because professional wrestling has changed now. It's more of athletic guys and people that can move. And that's what I'm doing.
But that's the thing. It's like when you look at guys like The Undertaker, and they were huge and they were great showmen and they sold it. Yeah. But then when the athletic guys came in, you know, there was a while there where the Undertaker was doing a triangle as his finish,
Right,
and that's when I realised that MMA had crossed over a little bit.
Exactly.
You mentioned Josh Barnett. Now I'm hoping that Wikipedia hasn't let me down here. It says that you've actually trained in CSW and catch wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Josh is. If you've seen some of my fights, Josh has cornered me in probably like 3 to 4 of my fights, or maybe even more. Yeah, and I always go out there and do my training camps out there. So me and Josh have gone. There's this whole deal between jiu-jitsu and catch wrestling. Since I have a wrestling background, it's easier to do catch wrestling. I do jiu-jitsu, but I like catch wrestling. So me and Josh, we've trained a lot for fights.
And is this out of Fullerton at Eric Paulson's place, or what?
Yeah. Well, Fullerton, and then sometimes last time I went up there, he was living in the Hollywood downtown area.
Yeah.
So I went up there and we just jumped around to gyms, and then we went down there. And then when he was training for his fights, he came up to Colorado, and he was at the Air Force Academy, which is right down the street from my house. So I went down there and wrestled with him. So we've always kind of been back and forth. And then before, we were going to Japan a lot, doing the stuff with IGF with the Inoki down there. Yeah. And then we went down there, we would train. So he and I, Peter Arndt, Jerome Banner, all those guys that were down there, we would do some training out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because actually, we have a connection because Eric Paulson is my coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm an instructor under Dan Inosanto, so that's the CSW is the stuff that I really like.
Oh, yeah.
So what got you into CSW? Was it the catch connection from your previous wrestling?
It was Josh, because when I first left WWE, I went down to Japan and I started doing stuff with Japan. And I was going strictly as a pro wrestler, but they were doing like the work shoot, so there was a lot of different guys out there. And I can do pro wrestling matches with Jerome Banner because he doesn't know pro wrestling.
No.
So we were doing a lot of work shoot, but then also we were training with each other. So when we were training with each other, that's when Josh and I became friends. And then I was getting ready for a fight, and Josh is like a genius when it comes to fighting.
Unbelievably good.
His knowledge of the sport is second to none.
The only thing he knows more about is manga comics.
Yes.
Japanese shit, right? That's it.
Or heavy metal music.
Heavy metal music as well. That's right.
But yeah, when I went down there, I was like, man, this is my style. This is my style. Because, you can go to other places, and I think other people try to cookie cutter their fighting. Everybody does the same thing. Here's my striking coach. Here's my boxing coach. Here's my jiu-jitsu coach. Well, catch wrestling's a little bit different. And the style of fighting is a little different. When you see Josh, he's a more brawling style. So that's me.
Well, you see that CSW, the whole CSW program is really smart. Because it ties everything in. It's the only time I've ever seen it where it looks like a hybrid. Where it's not like, wrestling, Muay Thai, boxing. It just sort of merges into one. Don't mind, you mentioned earlier about the work shoots, right? Which is one of my only the Japanese can work this work shoot game out, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to win, but you're both going to fight. Is that how it works?
Sometimes it's not predetermined.
Right.
Yeah, and it's been like that. If you watch, Mark Coleman went down there and fought. Who was it? Dang it. There's a match with Mark Coleman in there, and some of those matches don't go the way because people try to win that top spot.
Yes.
They may tell us that here's how it's going to go.
They go into business for themselves,
They go into business for themselves, and there was a few times it was like that, and so that's with us coming out there as fighters. If somebody's going into the business for themselves, we got to be ready. So it's not like you can just come down there and be like, I'm going to go drink some beer and go out there and have a wrestling match. Nah, you got to be trained. You got to be ready to go, especially with that cast.
Yeah, well, this is, I'm a huge fan from the old days of, Hackenschmidt, Gotch, legitimate. These guys,
exactly.
The only way they made their money was fighting, right?
Exactly.
And then they'd go and they'd do a few carnivals and, they take on the tough guys. And, it's that that's the one thing that really always attracted me and kept me in wrestling, because I'm a big, as much as I love MMA and martial arts, wrestling, because it's like a soap opera for men.